Millions of fans cheered on Saturday night as England beat Ukraine by 4 goals in the European Football Championship. This means that England are through to the semi-finals this week and potentially to the finals on Sunday. Speaking to Church of England prior to the game starting, Matt Baker suggested England might indeed go all the way and win. Well, I'm delighted to say that we're joined now by Matt Baker, English Director for Sports Chaplaincy UK. Matt, how are you doing?
I'm doing really well, thank you. How are you?
First of all, is it coming home, Matt?
I'd like to think so, yep.
Matt, just give us an insight into Sports Chaplaincy UK and what they've been doing in order to spread the gospel during the European Championship.
Well, we've been doing our usual stuff as chaplains, really. From a domestic perspective, obviously football has started to go back to pre-season training, so our chaplains are back involved with that. But most of us are also getting excited around, the England side of things.
How can we reach out to non-Christians and the youth? And what are the creative ways of evangelising through sports to get through to these young people?
I think that we need to be involved and caring in people's lives. So we can, if you look around on a Sunday morning, you're not at church, the thousands, if not millions of young people that are out there playing football, cricket, rugby, you name it. From a chaplaincy perspective, we're saying, come on church, there's an opportunity to get out there and get involved. And I think that is quite creative for a lot of churches where they see that we sit in church and wait for people to come to us. We need to get out there and follow the Great Commission.
Now, I know you obviously, it's on confidentiality side, so you can't mention any names, but are there any particular testimonies that stand out to you of how some of the football players have been touched by the chaplaincy work that you're doing?
Yeah, you're right. I can't mention names at all, but a lot of individual players are spoken to in confidence, help through various issues around bereavement or support with their family. Of course, we've had COVID the last year and a half, so a lot of chaplains have been in and around, still been able to go into the clubs, being COVID tested, and I'm one of those, been part of the players' bubble so that they've got someone to talk to around all their concerns. It was only a year ago that we had Project Restart. There were players' concerns there as they went back in terms of, could I get COVID? How's it going to affect me? How's it going to affect the family? So chaplains can be there to hear those concerns and be spoken to in confidence without judging.
Give us an insight into some of the changing rooms inside these football clubs, because I can imagine it must be mixed with different religions and backgrounds and beliefs. So how would you get involved in that?
We've seen a massive change over the last 10 years, I think, in football, where faith and spirituality is much more on players' agenda. We get told in society that people are less interested in faith, but my experience, without question, in football, and particularly on the playing side, is there are more players of faith, particularly Christianity, but also Islam as well. 1 or 2 Jewish players as well that have played in the English game. And so faith is the agenda, and so there are clubs where they've had pre-match prayers. Players of different faiths, they'll go along to the Christian prayers, or there's opportunity for Muslim players to say their prayers. Ramadan is in the football season at the moment and will be for the next few seasons, so giving that opportunity for players to say one of their 5 prayers a day. But from a Christian perspective, a number of players or members of staff might go along to prayers. There've been various clubs that have done Bible studies or prayer. I think the club did an alpha course as well with some of the players. So yeah, it's much more out there, and faith and spirituality is getting spoken to about a lot more.
So Matt, for anyone who's listening and hearing about Jesus Christ for the very first time, how would you explain your personal relationship with God?
I was brought up in a Christian family, but when I was about 7 or 8 years old, I made my own decision to follow Jesus. It was at that point my heart was strangely warmed, to quote Wesley. And so Jesus has been very much part of my life as far as I can remember. All my decisions I've made, I've always done them through prayer, through seeking the wise advice of Christians. I'm not saying I've got everything right, of course not. You know, I've sinned like anyone else. I've made mistakes, but Jesus is a part of my life, and through the ups and the downs, the doubts, the questions, I always come back to Him. I try to read my Bible, pray every day. I want people to discover who Jesus is in a very real, down-to-earth place. So yeah, He's at the centre of my life without question.
Excellent. Matt Baker, English Director for Sports Chaplaincy UK. Thanks so much for joining us. And it's coming home, Matt. It's coming home. Just have some faith.
It's coming home. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.